What is a 1, 2, or 3-star hunter? It's easy to assume that the star system is some sort of ranking within the Hunter Association, something that judges a particular hunter's overall aptitude in their position, or because Hunter x Hunter is a shonen manga, potentially even how powerful said hunter is. But actually, it has nothing to do with that. There are hunters with stars that will blow your mind because it's all like, how? How were they awarded a star? And that's mostly because we can directly compare them to a whole ton of famous hunters who are completely star nude. For example, Gon, Killua, Leorio, and Kurapika, they're expected. All still very much rookies in the grand scheme of things. But what if I told you that Kite wasn't even a single star hunter? In fact, let's go way further. Half of the Zodiacs aren't even starred hunters. They're considered to be the 12 most powerful and influential figures within the association, and yet half of them don't even have this honor. And to really give you a sense of how this works, here is the most shocking thing. Former chairman Isaac Netero himself didn't even have a single star. What I'm trying to say is that these people are very special. Power alone does not grant you a star. What this honor requires is far more than a selfish pursuit. What a hunter needs to do is revolutionize an aspect of humanity and provide progress to the world at large in their selected field. You need to become this world's equivalent of Edison, Tesla, Da Vinci, or Logan Paul. That's the sort of standard we're looking for here. And that's why people like Isaac Netero didn't qualify. Because even though he oversaw and perhaps even instituted the star system, his whole life's focus was about finding strong opponents and self-development. He didn't provide that remarkable breakthrough that the association theoretically exists for. And it's specifically the hunter bylaws that state, 1 star is given to a hunter who produces remarkable achievements in a particular field. So let's meet the hunters who have managed to do just that. The single star hunter we're most familiar with is Moro Makanasi. And I think people often forget what kind of hunter he is because it's not all that relevant during the Chimera Ant arc, but Moral is a sea hunter, someone who specializes in searching the waters for a mixture of scientific and archaeological purposes. There was that one time it was relevant where Leol unfortunately tried to fight Moral with a water-based ability, to which Moral said lol, and then proceeded to beat Leol by sucking up all of the airs and leaving Leol with death via carbon dioxide poisoning. But Moral was a single-star hunter before the Chimera Ant arc, so I can only imagine that Moral discovered something of great importance in the vast seas of the world that had been previously unknown to humanity. That or discovered something that was thought to be lost, like whatever the Hunter x Hunter equivalent of the Titanic is, maybe even the remnant of a failed Dark Continent voyage. And that's why there's no one more qualified than him to be leading the Black Whale 1 to the Dark Continent as we speak. Pretty important stuff. But the first starred hunter we meet happens as early as chapter 10 of the manga. It is of course Menchi, who is a single-star gourmet hunter, and she is described as follows: one of the world's most prominent chefs and a true epicure. Her dishes reflect artistry and sophistication. Her contributions to culinary culture have been invaluable. This, at the age of only 21, has earned her the title of single-star hunter. So it's implied that Menchi's contributions exist in the sphere of upper-class dining. I imagine she's absolutely scoured the available world, searching for new ingredients to create innovative new flavors that the human tongue has never had the pleasures of sampling. And we do see an example of this with the spider eagle's egg in the Hunter exam. And Menchi isn't just the first starred hunter in the series, but also the youngest of any starred hunters that we know of. There's a couple who could be around Menchi's age, but they go to great difficulties to hide their appearance, so it's hard to tell. But look, Menchi's not the strongest, however she is very much the epitome of what it means to be a hunter, taking desire, resources, and ability, and applying all of that to a specific area and innovating humanity. Hence why she gets a shiny, shiny star. And also sitting at the epitome of hunterdom, apparently, is Cutie Beauty, one of the more wacky Hunter x Hunter characters, and Cutie Beauty is very much Togashi predicting Instagram influencers. So Cutie Beauty is a cute hunter, meaning that her goal is twofold. One is to maintain and accentuate the beauty of herself and others, but the other is a much more grand goal, which was as stated by Cutie Beauty herself, to make the world cute. She has a vision for the entire planet, and I think it's fair to assume that her contribution was made within the realm of beauty and or anti-aging. Although one user of the Hunter x Hunter subreddit decided to nullify this progress and removed Cutie Beauty's makeup, Botox, and even breasts. But Cutie Beauty's position was so well respected, admired, and simped over that she was a serious candidate to become the next Hunter chairman. And when she did lose, her concession speech was actually quite alarming. Why did I lose? But I haven't lost at all. The cute association I proposed will become reality Beauty through my respected colleague Pariston. All my angels who voted for me, please give your votes to him. Interesting to note that she seemed to have formed an alliance with Pariston, which likely alludes to the idea that Cutie Beauty is anything but behind the scenes. In fact, she's referred to in the manga as Pariston's head groupie. So this is like giving money to an OnlyFans girl just for her to spend it on another OnlyFans creator. And look, Pariston puts on a good show, but everyone knows he's an actor, especially amongst hunters of influence, so Cutie Beauty knew exactly who he was and decided to go all in on Pariston regardless. So she is a single-starred hunter to be feared. As is Ikshonpe Katocha, the hacker hunter. His specialty is obviously with computers and the things it is that people do with computers. Ikshonpe is very potentially a global authority on anything to do with programming. A close second would likely be Miluki Zoldyck, and one day Miluki may even be the global authority if he spends less time with his numerous sex dolls. Speaking of, Miluki is the first person to mention the existence of hacker hunters. Miluki mentions the potential of hacking the hunter website, but he doesn't want the hacker hunters and the quote net police on his back. Hacker hunters are implied to be focused on dealing with cybercrime, so Ikshonpe likely got his star by doing something huge, like bringing down the Hunter world equivalent of the Silk Road. It should be noted that Ikshonpe never speaks, he only communicates through written words, and Ikshonpe is a self-professed resident of the digital world. Apparently in Hunter x Hunter there's even a special term for it called a netizen. And despite having no real care for the world or the association itself, Ikshonpe made it all the way through to the 5th round of voting in the chairman election, making him genuinely one of the most popular hunters in the entire association, which is again despite the fact that he doesn't really want anything to do with the association or reality as a whole. Ikshonpe and Jing are also implied to be friends, and part of Greed Island is even modeled after him, which is the spell card shop in Masadora. In fact, it's heavily speculated that Ikshonpe was one of the 11 creators of Greed Island, because each letter in the words Greed Island represents one of the founders. And whilst we filled out all of Greed, we currently only have one confirmed member of the Island section, which is listed as the L, but the I is almost certainly for Ikshonpe. Next up, says Gera. You might recognize him as that guy who was on Greed Island, but I forget why. And in case you have forgotten, because most do, he is a Jackpot Hunter, which is one of the coolest titles a hunter can have, but what does it mean? Well, let's examine his introduction. Says Gera, the Jackpot Hunter. He openly admits that all of his hunts are for financial gain, yet his achievements have earned him single-star status. Essentially, he's a money hunter. And I just want to take a moment to stop and explain just how out of this world his pursuits are. Remember that simply being granted the status of hunter is practically a license to print money. In fact, the license itself can be used as collateral to take out a loan of 100 million Jenny from, quote, any bank. It's at the point where 60 of the world's top 100 richest people are hunters. And of those 60, none that we know of are jackpot hunters. So says Gera is after colossal prizes that we can't even conceive of. He's also a very curious exception to the standard of starred hunters. In this case, says Gera has been so selfish that his pursuits have somehow gone on to significantly benefit the world, which is why he was hired by Batera to complete Greed Island and attain quite possibly the greatest financial prize that has ever been offered. But unlike most starred hunters, it's almost impossible to gauge what Sesgera did to earn his star, because it's a very vague, broad niche of hunting. He can essentially go after anything that results in an arse ton of money, which is actually what the Phantom Troop does as well. And it's hard to imagine how Sesgera's own personal acquisition of money led to the benefit of others, but it may have had to do with moving such a large quantity of money, like we're talking the size of a national GDP, and injecting it elsewhere. And then we have Bushidora Ambitious, Hunter x Hunter's rather poor answer to M. Bison. Bushidora is a Blacklist Hunter, and these are actually the most common type of hunter within the association. They specialize in hunting criminals, chasing bounties, and generally pursuing items, individuals, and activities within the underworld, and the most famous Blacklist Hunter is actually Kurapika, who was hunting the Scarlet Eyes of his clan. But for Bushidora to have been awarded a shiny star, he must have done something massive, like bring down an incredibly powerful mafia family, or recover an artifact of critical importance from the underworld, or be responsible for taking down a world-renowned criminal. For example, if a hunter were to single-handedly take out the Phantom Troop, then they would almost certainly be awarded a star. And despite how infamous the Phantom Troop are, it would be only 1 star. That should give you an idea of just how almost impossible it is to earn even a single star, let alone 2 stars, and let alone, again, 3 stars. But back to Bushidora, he was a member of the Association Disciplinary Committee, which means that in the rare circumstance where the Hunter Association has to take action against other hunters, he's the dude it is who gets the task. Bushidora was also part of Netero Bushido's pure paladin squad, so in terms of power, this guy must be pretty damn serious. But not quite serious enough because he was killed off-screen by Hisoka during the chairman election arc. In the manga, it's actually pretty sad. Bushido bravely sets out, and then we essentially just cut to his death being announced on television. At least in the anime, they showed a bit of his corpse and such, but narratively, he turned out to be a bit of a nothing character. But what he wanted to do was specifically revise the 4th hunter bylaw, which is, hunters shall not target other hunters unless they commit heinous crimes, which is actually a bit ironic because Bushido was targeted by Hisoka, another hunter, despite Bushido not having committed a heinous crime. But also having attained a single star is Sanbika Norton, who you may never have heard of, but she's a bit of a cult fan favorite. Sanbika is a virus hunter, which is even referenced in her last name, Norton almost certainly being a reference to that thing we all know. And when the big real-world virus that I can't say on YouTube broke out, Sanbika had a brief tenure as an awareness ambassador online, encouraging Hunter x Hunter fans to stay healthy and even wear masks. Realistically, to earn her status as a single-star hunter, she would have had to do something along the lines of developing a vaccine or even outright eradicating a virus. In the first round of the chairman election, she was tied for 11th place with Cutie Beauty, and they could not be more different people. Cutie Beauty focuses purely on appearance, and Sanbika goes to great extent to hide her appearance and is rarely seen in public. She really just wants to focus and do her own thing. Sanbika never had any desire to become chairman, but others were keen on her. And while she hasn't had a big role in the story, Sanbika is going to be integral to the Dark Continent expedition, because the Hunter Association are walking into a completely unknown landmass. Well, not completely unknown, there is one thing we know, which is that it's packed with a lot of things that are antithetical to the existence of humans, including diseases, lots and lots of diseases, such as Zobai, the immortality disease. So Sanbika has been charged with preparing a disease counter manual, trying to log, predict, and counter anything that may come up, to which I say, good luck. But that's a taste of what it takes to earn even a single star. But what if I told you that there were 6 individuals in this world who have been awarded a double star license, each living legends in their own right, that we're going to examine in the next video.